Okay, this morning, I'm down on the Jordan River Parkway, and I ran into this gentleman, and I was asking him if he was the guy that was killing all the goat heads, and he is. Awesome. So in my observation, I've noticed that from 64th to 48th, there's no goat heads, and this gentleman's taking care of that problem and fixing all the goat heads. Can you tell me who you are, what you're doing for sure, and who you work for?
I work for Murray City. My name's Bruce Knight, and my main job is to get the goat heads and the thistle, and from 6400 south to 4800 south, and I methodically go along and hunt them down, and when I see them, I dig them up, and I put them in here so the seeds can't go to seed and come back next year. We spend a fair amount of time doing that. That's why it's, you don't see too many.
Yeah.
A lot of the public wish that West Valley and Taylorsville would do it, but we need to hire retired guys or even kids like me
to
do it.
Right. Yeah, I've
that much.
Oh yeah, from 64th to 90th south, goat heads are every 3 feet and they're 4 foot in diameter. West Jordan isn't doing a damn thing about them at all.
Well,
nothing.
Maybe you could send this to the mayor of Murray, and he could have an influence and call them and see if they can do something about it.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that, but I really appreciate your work and what you're doing, and it's a night and day difference between here and there.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
You have a good day, and I'm going to go on my way and film some goat heads.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. We'll see you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Jeff Page, and I ride a hand cycle on the Jordan River Parkway. And without the Jordan River Parkway, my life would be a whole lot harder. I'm a quadriplegic, and having this trail makes a world of difference to me, and I really appreciate it. But what we're going to talk about today is goat heads. Goat heads, goat heads. They're all over the place. So from 6400 south to 90th south is just solid goat heads. West Jordan isn't doing anything about it. And there's some goat heads right there on the pavement. There's some more goat heads on the pavement, and some more. Anyway, we need to work with West Jordan to come down and eradicate these goat heads. If you look to the right, every plant you see that's green and really low to the ground and spread out and has yellow blossoms, that's a goat head. And they've matured so much so far that spraying them is going to kill the plant but still leave the seeds behind. Or if they come down and try to pick them up much later, the seeds will just fall off when they pick up the plant. So they need to get on it quick. They need to cut the root and then carefully lift the whole plant up and throw it in a disposal bin of some sort, on the trailer or a four-wheeler or whatever they got to do. And they need to haul these goat heads out of here. So as we ride across, I'm sure you'll be looking. There's some yellow ones right there on the edge, but they spread out across the ground. That's all goat heads right there that you just saw to the right. They're just everywhere, and we need to get them eradicated quick and done right. What the biggest problem is when West Jordan doesn't take care of their goat heads, then Murray City and possibly South Jordan has to do more work because West Jordan's goat heads spread into their cities. So it needs to be a Wasatch Front deal where any bike trails that have goat heads, every city's responsible to kill them and kill them quick before they can spread, and we can get rid of these rotten things. So as a hand cyclist and as a quadriplegic, I have to be lowered into my bike with a crane basically and lift it out that way. And so when I get a flat, it's very difficult to change the flat. It's not impossible. That basically is because I can't get in and out of the bike on my own. You can't take the wheel off while I'm in the bike. And so flats are a real bad problem for me on my hand cycle, or anybody in a quadriplegic that can't get in and out of their bike on their own. It's very difficult. But like I said before, these trails are awesome. We should all take advantage of it. But they need to keep the maintenance up. They need to. There's goat heads right back there we just passed. They need to keep the cracks filled, not painted black with oil, but actually filled. They need to fill the big dips. They need to kill all the roots that are growing underneath and causing the big uprisings, and all they need is a big diameter cement blade and just drive along the side of the trail and cut off all the roots that are entering under the trail, and then if they're too bad, we can repave the trail and they won't come back. It's not going to kill the tree if you cut the roots that are under the trail. They have plenty of others that the tree's living off. Those are all goat heads right there again, by the way. And you know, as we ride along here, those are all goat heads again. Of course, these aren't. These are tall weeds. But it's just a great place, and we need to take care of it. We need to do maintenance on the trails. They need to do weed removal on the trail. They need to do cleanup after the homeless people are on here. This is a high maintenance area, and the cities are responsible for taking care of the goat heads, taking care of the bad trail conditions, and taking care of the homeless camps that are down here. That's all goat heads we're passing right now back there with those yellow. That's all goat heads. Anyway, we're approaching, getting closer to 7800 south now, and that's all goat heads right there on the side. We're going to be coming underneath an underpass, and this underpass has had graffiti on it many times, and West Jordan gets right on it and gets rid of the graffiti. They take care of that problem quickly, so that's a good thing they're doing. But one of the problems I want to talk about is you enter and exit these tunnels or under the bridges. They sometimes enter way too sharply or exit way too sharply. Like this one, you can't see anybody who's there until you make that 90-degree turn, and they could easily have made these so they kind of went out a ways and gradually turned instead of having 90-degree turns. That's all goat heads. Those are all goat heads right there along the trail. This is an update. I filmed this and made the first video on July 6th. Now it's July 11th. I just got back from riding down on the Jordan River Parkway, and West Jordan had come through between 6400 south and 7800 south, and they sprayed all the weeds and goat heads, and that's the worst thing they could do to mature plants. When these plants are mature like this and you spray them, they just drop their goat head seeds sooner rather than later. So they've got only a couple of days before these plants completely die and drop these seeds. They've got to get down here. They've got to carefully lift up the plant, cut the root, dispose of it, bring down a vacuum of some sort to suck up the ones that fell off, because there's millions and millions of goat head seeds between 6400 south and 7800 south, and even more, but not as bad, between 78 and the border of West Jordan. So we need to get West Jordan down here in the next 2 or 3 days, or we're going to have millions of goat heads, or another name for it is puncher vine, but it needs to be done pronto. So I really do appreciate what they do for the maintenance on trails, and I appreciate having the trails, but they don't get rid of these goat heads, they're going to ruin the day for thousands of people. It's the worst I've ever seen.